Today, very excited. We're at the Duplex. We're going to show you guys around and show you guys all the updates that have been done in the last few weeks.
And we're also going to go into some of the strategies that we used to find deals and how it helped us find this one.
And then what updates are you expecting to look?
So I believe we got flooring done, all the kitchen cabinets are done, all the paint inside is done. They're pretty much wrapping up on exterior paint. We're really close to the finish line on this one, so we're excited to show you guys. Our guys went to lunch. They're supposed to put the key back in the lockbox, but it's not in the lockbox, so we have to wait.
On a daily basis, I'm probably looking at anywhere from 10 to 15 deals, and we're looking to buy at least 2 to 3 a week. I probably end up looking at close to 100 deals every single week just to get 2 to 3 under contract on a good week. Now, it is hard to find deals that make sense in pencil. That's what we're shooting for. And we've managed to do 2 to 3 deals every single week without ever contacting a seller directly.
What is our target profit rate?
We're typically shooting to make 10% on the ARV in regards to what we're looking to make on profit. So typically that lands us anywhere from 20 to 30 grand on the lower end of our projects. But when it comes to some of our larger projects in regards to the houses that have higher price points, if it's $400,000 to $500,000, 10% of those two figures leads you to 40 to 50 grand in profit, or at least what we're shooting for. So this deal behind us, the one that I'm standing on, is a duplex that I found from a wholesaler. The wholesaler was one that I had reached out to a while ago, and every single deal that I had contacted them about before, I was typically lower in regards to price, and they have a lot of buyers on their list. So I wasn't able to win any of those, but what I was doing was always submitting my offer and being very consistent. So I eventually found this one, and I wanted to win this one really bad just because it's in our hometown, Durham. So I reached out and was willing to move fast and put our deposit down quickly without seeing it, which is a little risky, but that actually helped us win it. So the numbers on this one, we have it under contract, or we bought it for $235. Our after repair value, which we refer to as ARV, is anywhere from $375 to $400,000, and we projected to do a renovation scope of work or have a budget of 55 to 60 grand in regards to what we'll spend on it to flip it. So as you can see, there's a decent amount of margin on it, and I believe our profit margin was anywhere from 40 to 50 grand. This is actually my first time coming to this property.
So I'm actually gonna give him a tour.
The best way I like to find deals, and that we've had most success with, is going direct to the wholesalers that we have in our network. So my favorite thing to do is, if I am not having much luck on all the different platforms I use, which is Facebook, InvestorLift, things like that, what I'll do is I'll just go to my phone and text every single wholesaler that I have done a deal with or that I have a relationship with, and ask them if they have anything in their pipeline that I can take a look at. I'm looking to buy 2 to 3 this week, and it's been slow. So they'll typically send me anything they have, and usually a lot of the times these deals are ones that they haven't blasted out to their whole database of buyers. A lot of the times I'm getting first looks at these projects, and that's how we find our best deals. In general, we're looking for properties that were usually built in the 1960s or more recent. Sometimes I'll push my brother Kenneth, who's the guy that kind of pushes back on our deal flow, the deals that I want to take down. Sometimes I'll send him something that was built in 1955. So that's probably the oldest type of house that we'll look at. And in this case, this is a multifamily property, it's a duplex. So we are open to doing smaller multifamily, as long as it's nothing too heavy, meaning that the bones are good, there's no foundation issues. We're okay with going into something that needs electrical work, needs the roof replaced, HVAC needs to be replaced. That's all okay, as long as we can buy it at the right price, and I'm able to budget enough in the renovation budget where we can still hit that 10% of our ARV, which is what we look to make in profit. I'm usually not looking at any house that's under 900 square feet. We did that once, and we ended up sitting on the market a little longer than we would have preferred, mainly because a lot of buyers are deterred or aren't as interested in looking at houses that are too small for obvious reasons. We'll also usually want to not be on any main road. So there's a lot of these highways that have houses on the side, or double yellow line roads. A lot of families don't want to live there for obvious reasons, right? This property fit our criteria. It was built in 1961. It's well over 1,200 square feet, and we bought it at the right price, and we're able to justify our purchase price, which we obviously included in our numbers, and then we also were able to come up with a renovation budget that we thought was conservative, and our ARV was high enough where we had that profit margin there. So we were able to go into this one and take it down. There weren't any foundation issues. The roof was obviously going to need to be replaced. The HVAC was going to need to be replaced. But there was nothing else major that scared us away from it. So that was why we took this project down. I don't know what time it is.
It goes, you can put it up against the first door on the right. Yep. On the Finally, we got the keys. Success.
There's paint everywhere, I'm assuming now.
They just brought the remainder of the flooring.
What are these?
Flooring. That's what the floor is. So this is flooring.
Same thing?
Yeah, it'll look exactly the same. But in the kitchen, I was thinking afterwards we should have knocked this wall down, but and I'm like, it's a duplex, you know.
Yeah.
We could have knocked it down though. Would have looked probably better.
Would it have cost us more to do that?
Maybe a little bit more. This wasn't here before, so it used to just be one big side.
Entry?
We added, well, more like it's like the laundry.
Really?
Yeah. But I mean, you can use it. Maybe we'll put some shelves up there so they can put some stuff in there.
Another thing I like to see in any of the areas we're flipping in is how long our house is sitting on the market. So what I'll do is I'll just go to pending sales or houses that have been on the market for any of the ones that have been listed within the last, let's say, 30 days. If there's anything that's been sitting on the market for a long time, I'll look at it. Sometimes it's because that house was listed too high, but in a lot of cases, I see houses in our areas that are listed and then a few days later they're immediately going under contract, which is a really good thing because it shows that there's a lot of demand for houses at whatever price point that house was at. So that's usually what we like to see.
Does it have a picture? Do you want to see what it looks like? It's a barn door.
We don't go direct to seller, and we actually just work with wholesalers who go direct to seller, mainly because we like to not only not spend any money on marketing, which is what wholesalers do. Obviously, that means that we are saving a lot of money that we would spend if we were to spend money on marketing. I do think there's an advantage to doing it. You could find a lot of great deals that way and have bigger margins that you wouldn't necessarily have if you were doing what we do, which is going direct to the wholesaler and having to pay them their fee. But I also skip that whole process and get to pretty much pick all of the deals that I see because they're already under contract. So that's why we enjoy doing that.
All the cabinets are brand new. We're gonna put in black granite.
No, dishwasher?
Yes, dishwasher here, stove there.
This is nice.
And then fridge there, and then it's gonna be black granite on top.
One of the many ways that I get in touch with these wholesalers is by going to networking events in our local area. So I'll look up different local real estate meetups, different real estate events hosted by different organizations like RIA, TRIA, Bigger Pockets, things like that. And you can find these on meetup.com. You can find them on Eventbrite. Also, Facebook is a great resource to find the hosts of these events who will post about their events, and you can find them and also other wholesalers all in these Facebook groups. That's where a lot of this communication happens. So that's what I do, and I've been fortunate to be able to go to a lot of these over the last 4 years and have met a lot of awesome wholesalers in person that way. How I met a wholesaler for this deal was by seeing their posts in a lot of these Facebook groups that I just referred to, and then eventually I started submitting a lot of offers and getting on phone calls with them. And over time, they realized that I was someone who was serious, not because they'd actually given me any deals, because I was, as I mentioned, always coming a little bit lower than what they were looking for in regards to price, but eventually they decided to give me a chance. It's really important to always be looking at deals because it not only keeps your skills sharp in regards to your acquisition skills, but also maintaining that relationship with those people that are giving you deal flow is very important, because if you're always looking, they're always looking for deals as well. That's how they're making their money. So if you're able to not only always be that person that's consistently buying, you're going to stay top of mind, and you're also going to increase the chances of you finding a good deal. Because a lot of times, flippers will go through this one little phase in a spurt where they're looking for a lot of deals for, let's say, a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and they'll take a few weeks off after that, and then they come back into it, and it takes some time to build that momentum. And a lot of times I'll submit an offer on a deal that I don't win that exact week or day, but it eventually does sometimes come back to you because let's say it fell out of contract, or it just for some happened that they weren't able to get higher than what you had offered or they thought they could get. So a lot of times these deals do come back to you, which is why it's really important to always be looking and always be following up with the wholesalers that you're working with. Some major red flags on projects, and mainly for me this consists of things that we're going to have to fix that we don't want to have to fix. So if you're not comfortable doing too heavy of a lift, is how I like to refer to it as. It means that there's no walls, you're going to have to put up these walls, or a major project that you're going to have to take on. We don't usually like to do those. We like to go in and quickly renovate and then quickly sell. So usually we don't want to be in a project for any more than 3 to 4 months. And a big project might take you 6 to 8 months. Certain things that are big red flags for me are the foundation. If there's a major crack or, some settling going on, we just want to make sure that we understand exactly what it is. And usually that'll deter us from going and pursuing a deal. Really, the main thing I would say for me that you can look for, as soon as you see something that's older than I'd say 1960, you can start to expect you're going to run into some type of issues. That's why it's so important to stick to that strict criteria. And for us, it's usually 1960 houses or newer. So when you're going on market, you can be very successful looking for deals there. It is a little bit more competitive, and that's something that I've struggled winning deals in regards to using that strategy, mainly because your deal that you're looking at is in front of a lot more people when it's on market, but you can find a lot of really great opportunities there. There's just more competition. So every week I'm probably looking at anywhere from 10 to 15 deals a day, and if you do the math, that's at least 6 times a week. So easily 100 deals a week, and I'm probably submitting anywhere from 2 to 3 offers every single day. So usually that's 10%, give or take. As you can see, that's a lot of deals that I have to look at just to find something that makes sense. And I don't win every deal. I'm usually only winning 2 to 3. If it's a great week, it's 3. If it's a slow week, I'd say 1. You have to look at a lot of deals to find a good one.
We got the bathroom here. Miguel. Say hi, Miguel. Vandy will go here, obviously light fixture, and then light fixture there. You can see like,
Well, it's
but 2 bedroom obviously, so 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom. It's not done yet, and as you can notice, different fan. I'm not a fan of this fan.
You chose that?
I did not choose that.
Who chose
I told him to change it though. He's gonna change it.
So as a cash buyer, there are a lot of different things that I like to do to stand out. One of them is to directly call the wholesaler. If you're texting them, it can be a little less personal. So if you give them a phone call, then that's one way you can build that relationship. But I think the biggest and most important thing is to actually buy deals from them and be consistent with the offers that you're making. Wholesalers don't just get one deal. They're obviously looking to get as many deals as they can every single week. So if you're one of those people that are consistently making offers and you're trying to work with them, eventually you'll win one. And a good strategy that I like to use is potentially, in the first few deals, if you can and you're willing to take this risk, going a little bit higher than what you're comfortable going. It's not a great practice for the long run, but being able to give up a little bit on the front end, showing them that you're willing to sort of push on your numbers just to build a relationship, and you can let them know that. I like to say, hey, these numbers are a little bit higher than what I would usually pay for a project like this, but I'm willing to make this work because I want you to continue to send me deals. So this one is in our hometown. We know this area very well, and we were actually able to drive this property on the outside without looking on the inside before we put our deposit down. But what I said over the phone to the wholesaler was that I was able to close fast and that I was willing to put my deposit, which is my earnest money deposit, and it's non-refundable, down before I walk the inside. So what that is considered, or how I refer to that to the wholesaler, is a sight unseen offer. And that was actually how I was able to get ahead of all the other buyers who were going to wait a few days before putting their deposit down because they wanted to see it. I was able to not only pay a little over ask, as I mentioned, cough up a little bit on the front end to build that relationship, but also was able and willing to put my deposit down before seeing it, which helped us win this deal and stand out as a cash buyer.
A little bit better. It's a little small, but this is probably where it's gonna go. And then we got brand new windows. All brand new windows.
I love it.
You want to Raleigh?
We're going to Raleigh. We're gonna get another one of these. Come on. So a few don'ts as a cash buyer are: 1, if you aren't able to actually close on a deal, don't make offers. 2, if you're gonna say you're gonna buy it sight unseen, that should be exactly what you end up doing. Now, granted, maybe there's a way you can work some type of walking around the outside or something like that, and that's okay. Third, if you're gonna put a property under contract, make sure you have your financing set up in place and that you're able to actually fund it on time, because obviously the biggest thing in this business is your relationships and all of your relationships and your reputation. And that's very hard to build, but easy to destroy or tarnish. So you want to make sure that you're not only moving sort of cautiously, especially when you're first starting out, because obviously, we can get rushed and want to take down as many deals as we can when we're first getting started, but you just want to make sure that you're making the right choices so that you can nurture and build the relationships the right way. I pray it's on me.
Come on.
There's another side, so.
¿Cuánto dinero?
Again, not the biggest fan, but I just realized, like, literally right now, in this one, there's no access to the bathroom from any of the, like, common spaces.
It's probably good, because if you're using the bathroom and it smells, it's not gonna come through and smell for the person walking in. You can do your due diligence before and or after. It just depends on how you make your offer. Sometimes we'll do a sight unseen offer where we're going to go in after we're under contract and our earnest money is already considered non-refundable, meaning you won't get it back if you decide to proceed with the transaction or not. Either way, you're at risk of losing that. Or you can do your due diligence before you put it under contract. Now, obviously, one is more risky than the other, but there are benefits to both.
Not light in here.
Gotta leave that. It's just. Yeah, fix that.
Doesn't work yet. They're gonna actually turn this black because this was supposed to be black from the beginning.
Now, one of my favorite ways to mitigate risk is to have multiple people look at my numbers. Now, I am the person that looks at the numbers first. After I find the property, I'll run the numbers quickly, and as soon as I think it's a good deal, I'll have my brother look at it, and I also have an agent on my team who we work hand in hand, and he looks at the numbers as well. Renovation budget is probably the biggest thing you want someone else to look at. Obviously, if you're not the one managing the construction, then having that person that is on your team that's doing that is very important, because they'll be able to not only sometimes make sure you're not under budgeting and not having enough capital allocated for that type of project, but sometimes it can help you be more competitive because you might be over budgeting. Maybe you can get it done for a little cheaper, and that will help you make a higher offer and actually give you a higher chance of winning the deal. Now, with my agent, they are awesome because sometimes they know things about that market that I don't, or they think that we can convert it into a 4.3 when it's a 3.2, and that'll increase our ERV by $100,000 or something crazy like that. And that's helped us look at projects in a completely different way and actually pursue deals that we wouldn't have looked at or just gone after if we didn't have someone else looking at our numbers. So a lot of things that I like to have sort of in place before I'm even starting to look at deals is understanding personally. I've had some practice. So as soon as you're able to start practicing, looking at different projects, the scope of work, meaning how much work will these kinds of houses in the condition that they're in, what kind of work will they need, and how much will that cost, so that you can, by yourself and with your team, very quickly run numbers, because I think time is the best way. If you can quickly look at deals and submit offers very quickly, you're going to be more competitive, have that slight edge over your competitors, which will increase your chances of winning deals. If you're local to the market, it can help mitigate risk, because then you can go and drive the area. You can also go and drive the outside of the house. Sometimes the wholesaler or the person who owns the house isn't able to get you in as soon as you'd want to get in. As I mentioned, the quicker you can do it, the better. So if you can just go look at the outside of the house, since you're, let's say, 30 minutes away, you might be able to go that exact minute and go look at the foundation, get into the crawl space. You don't always need lock boxes for that, right? You can just go and look at the outside. Obviously, that will help you mitigate a lot of the biggest risk on a property, which are the foundational issues or what's in the crawl space, if there's termite damage, things like that. So understanding a renovation budget as an acquisition rep is very important. Now, obviously, I don't actually manage the construction, so I just need to know enough and be dangerous enough. The most important thing is having someone that you can get access to very quickly to give you their opinion on a renovation budget. And you can typically do that by sending them pictures and asking, as the acquisition rep, knowing what questions to ask the wholesaler or whoever has the deal. So I don't actually have to go see it. I can just get the pictures and then ask them questions like, what's the electrical on this property? What's it like? What's the age of the roof? What is the HVAC system? How old is that? Will we need to replace it? Is there any known big issues with the foundation or mold? Things like that. If you can ask and extract that information, you can then use that to sort of come up with your own budget. And typically I'm pretty spot on, and over time you get better and better at this as you practice more and more.
Jack and Joseph got the other room here. Jack and Jill. They share the bathroom, which I think is a pretty cool layout, you know? And then you got the kitchen, new
I
cabinets.
like this side better.
This side looks cleaner right now because obviously it's not done. And black granite, and then the backsplash shouldn't be fire. It'll look good. It'll look good.
Yeah, I like it. I think there's obviously certain things that we probably could have done better, but we're just getting better over time.
Name one thing.
I feel like some of the grout and the floor finishes don't look as clean as I would like them to, but that's Kenneth's fault, so my fault. Wholesalers will sometimes want you to show them that you're credible and that you're a real cash buyer. What you can do is either find someone in your area or just a friend that you can partner with and leverage their track record. And what that usually consists of are other houses that you guys have flipped in the past. Even if you haven't been a part of it, you can just say you're working with this team, so you can say our team has done this amount of transactions. Here are examples of what we flipped in the past. Now what I do is I'll just send them addresses of houses that we flipped recently. So I'll send that to them, and that shows them that we're real. There's a lot of daisy chaining going on, which is when someone who isn't the direct to seller wholesaler is going to help this wholesaler that has it under contract try to find a buyer, and sometimes it'll go from the person that actually has the contract to someone else who has another person who will then actually go find the buyer. So as you can see, there's a lot of different people and you don't really know who has control, which can get really annoying for wholesalers. So they're usually not looking to work with other wholesalers. They prefer to go direct to the buyer, which is what you want to be. We're done here. We're hoping to get more deals every single week, so stay tuned. Hopefully I get one after this. I'm really excited to get out of here. So let's go.
Kenny, we're gonna find.
Go ahead, like, comment, share, subscribe, follow us at Donis Brothers on all platforms. And if you did like it,
And if you want to see
Comment down
Kerwin,
below.
put in the comments because he's never in these videos and he's always looking happy when he's recording them.
right. If only you guys saw. Peace.